Welcome to EP Daily and our brand new setup. Today on the show, we're staking out a few vampires in the rundown.
Plus, move over, Chun-Li. EP's deadliest Street Fighter, Marissa, takes a closer look at Street Fighter V.
And then a very happy Marissa digs up an early look at Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. Also coming up, Jose and our new reviewer, Sophia Tong, take a look at Life is Strange, episodes 1, 2, and 3. I unearth a pair of heroic and villainous buried treasures, and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest in everything cool every single day. A clove of garlic might stop a vampire or two, but nothing could stop the rundown. The developers of the episodic game Life is Strange are sinking their teeth into a deadly new game. Developer Don't Nod Entertainment is developing an RPG called Vampire, where players take the role of a recently turned vampire in early 20th century England. You'll walk the streets at night looking for new victims, and who you decide to feed on and why is up to you. Since you can choose to only suck the blood of evildoers, it means you'll have the freedom to decide whether you're a hero or a villain. Expect to have plenty of vampiric supernatural powers at your disposal as well. Vampire will hit the streets in 2017. In the meantime, Don't Nod's Life is Strange Episode 4 comes out on July 7th. We'll have a review of the first 3 episodes later in today's show, featuring Jose and the newest member of our reviews team, Sophia Tong.
Lovely young woman.
The King of the World has given his approval to the new Terminator movie. Terminator co-writer and director James Cameron has said that the new movie Terminator Genisys is actually pretty good. In a featurette released by the producers of the new film, Cameron says that the new movie is very respectful of the first 2 films and will reinvigorate the franchise. He adds that he considers it the true 3rd film in the series, an apparent slight against Terminator 3 and the 4th film, Terminator Salvation. This is sure to come as welcome news for fans of the series, especially since Terminator Genisys received a somewhat negative reception when the first trailer debuted online. Although Cameron wasn't involved in the making of the new film, he will receive royalties because he created all of the characters. You'll be able to decide for yourself if Terminator Genisys is any good when it comes out next week. Here to help me talk about these announcements in our brand new setup is my pal, Marissa Roberto.
It's really nice in here.
It is nice, huh? Especially Mr. Cameron. Are you excited about Terminator Genisys now that he has pretty much endorsed it?
No. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Do you remember, I know it's a different person altogether, but do you remember when Steven Spielberg said that the E.T. video game was going to be good?
Okay.
For money, honey.
He also
for money.
said Jurassic Park, Jurassic World was going to be really, really great, too.
Oh, boom.
You know what, though? James Cameron's a guy that I kind of trust. I don't feel like he is in it just for the money. I think that he makes a lot of money. He's already the king of the world, so he doesn't really need to sort of swim in giant mountains and piles of money. I think
he's not doing a Scrooge McDuck kind of thing?
Yeah, and he's kind of slammed the other 2 movies. You know, he also made money off of those as well. So I think he is kind of saying that this one is good. We should be excited for it. Now I am officially excited because of this.
I'm going to go in not excited, and then maybe I'll enjoy it.
That's probably the better way to do that.
Yeah, that's the way you do things.
Okay, what about Vampire, the new one from Don't Nod? Now, these guys have been doing some really nice stuff with the Life is Strange series. We've got the review coming later in the show. Are you excited about this?
Well, you know, I'm not excited about scary things, and this looks very scary. Another thing I'm not excited about, but I do like the whole morality thing. So the fact that you can be a good vampire or a bad vampire. Of course, I will always be good when I play this thing. I always play the good. I mean, if there's a choice between good and evil, I'm gonna go good. You're gonna go evil, of course.
I'm gonna go evil. You're a vampire. You gotta slice and dice. It reminds me of the old Legacy of Kain game that Silicon Knights built. I love that experience. You can kind of choose to go in either direction. And I think what Don't Nod is doing with Life is Strange is really amazing. I think that they're reaching to build something that has resonance and weight, and they're learning a ton. I don't know if Vampire is going to be episodic, but I'm definitely excited for the sucker.
Okay.
Sucker?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Sucker. Hilarious, Victor Lucas. But even in Infamous, like I mean, you always go good.
Yeah, I usually go good, but I'm a vampire. If I'm a vampire, I go bad. All right, well, it's time to get into some fisticuffs now. Marissa visited the folks behind Street Fighter V.
Cool. Street Fighter V is a new game coming at us, but I feel like I've just played a version of Street Fighter 4. Matt, so tell me what is new with Street Fighter V?
So very excited to let people have hands-on time here. We're revealing our new battle mechanics for the first time. So the new core gameplay mechanics for Street Fighter V is all based on the variable system. Now what's cool about this variable system is it allows for a lot of variety in gameplay and for every character to have their own individual play style. So there's 3 elements of the variable system. The first is a V trigger. We have a new variable gauge. If you use all of your variable gauge, you'll send your character into a powered up state. They can unleash their true potential and it can really help change the tide of battle. You execute that by pressing heavy punch and heavy kick at the same time, so really easy to execute. Also, we have V skills. These add an extra level of utility to a character, like a new movement option, a parry, or a way of dealing with projectiles. Those can be used at any time. You press medium punch and medium kick, really easy to execute. The last piece of the puzzle are V reversals. They're very similar to alpha counters we had back in the day. If you're under a lot of pressure, you can activate that, do a little bit of damage, and push your opponent away. So all of those combined, it's a really cool system that's very open. There's a lot of room to grow over time, and fans have been loving it. So very excited to be able to reveal that.
And so the V gauge is the one where if I'm taking damage, I'm actually gaining the V gauge, is that right?
Correct, yeah, it functions similar to a revenge meter, but some characters do have ways of filling meter up faster. So for instance, Nash's V skill, he can grab a projectile and he uses that to build meter fast. Birdie eats a donut and he uses that to build up his V gauge pretty fast.
The Street Fighter franchise has just brought in so many people. I feel like you have so many fans around the world. So do you get all of their feedback and do you implement it into each game that comes out?
Definitely. For the first time in franchise history, we're doing a very robust beta campaign. So that's going to be starting on July 23rd. Primary goal here is to make sure that our online infrastructure is as high quality as possible. So in North America, if you pre-order the game, you'll get instant access. Definitely pay attention to when our beta hits on July 23rd. It's exclusive to PS4. We will have a PS4 PC cross-platform beta later this fall.
私の邪魔をするな。消えてもらう。
We also have a very large esports initiative, so we're now in the 2nd season of the Capcom Pro Tour. $500,000 worth of prize money up for grabs. We've practically doubled the tour in size, so there's 32 spots available for the Capcom Cup. This is going to be the first time in fighting game history a single player walks away with a 6-figure paycheck from a single tournament win. So really exciting stuff. You can get all the details on CapcomProTour.com.
Is it one of those games that you feel like you have to play with a fighting stick, or are you more of a controller type guy?
It totally depends. Controllers have become much more viable as time went on. I believe last year's EVO champion played on a pad, not on a joystick. So it's just like choose your weapon. Both of them are perfectly valid. It's just whatever fits your play style the best.
Street Fighter V is coming out in early 2016. I hope to have that minigame where you can beat up a car.
I hope so too. Stick around when we come back. Marissa is taking us into the garden.
Since the dawn of time, plants have protected suburbia from the zombies. But now the world has changed.
Ready when you are. Captain America Civil War is coming out next year, and if you want to celebrate in video game form, go back and play something wonderful. Check out Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, which came out on the Wii. It came out on the Xbox 360 and the PS3. The version will also play on your Wii U. Now, it's not going to look great. It's not the best version, best looking version of the game, but it was pretty solid across all platforms. And the best thing about this thing is that it does kind of take a little bit of the Civil War conflict between, that really originates with Iron Man and Captain America and some of the other heroes that follow each of them, and it places it into a video game context. There is a lot of team-up action. There's a lot of superhero powers that are augmented by the types of teams that you make. It's an action RPG that's mostly top-down isometric, but they did mix up some of the camera angles, and you fight all kinds of awesome bad guys. You fight Sentinel robots. You're in supervillain bases. You're in cities that are being destroyed all around you. This was a ton of fun. I love playing this game, and I really wish that Marvel would bring back console versions or new PC versions or awesome versions of the Ultimate Alliance brand. I really, really miss this.
Nice pocket there, Vic. All I have in my pocket Lint, but look who it is, fresh off of his E3 experience. It's Mr. L.A. Jones.
Hey!
Jones, it's time to take off the sunglasses and the E3 pass, buddy. It's not going to help you here.
This is a VIP pass. I can get into any Chipotle around the LA area with this pass.
All right, well.
Don't have to wait in line, just right this way, sir. Here's the black door, you go in that way.
Okay, unlike Jones, I did not visit every Chipotle in the LA area. I was actually doing work. I met some really cool people that are making Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. Take a look.
Since the dawn of time, plants have protected suburbia from the zombies. But now the world has changed.
It should come as no surprise to everyone watching that I'm conducting the Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 interview because, first of all, Kyle, I need to gloat a little bit. I called this. I was very excited about a second one coming, and it's here now. So why is there another one? Why don't you tell the people how great this game really is?
We're super excited to introduce Garden Warfare 2 to our fans and give them more of that great, crazy fun. We're expanding the game in all new ways. We've taken it so you can play solo play now. You'll be able to go play against AI all the time with all your modes. We're going to be able to do everything with split screen, which was a big request from our fans. At Garden Warfare 1, we had the original split screen mode. Now you can play every single mode, split screen with somebody on your couch, each with your own sense of progression. So that alone brings a whole new opportunity for our fans.
There's more of a story with Garden Warfare 2, right? Because there wasn't really much of one in the first one. Like, I do obviously feel for the plants and I feel for the zombies, but in this one you actually have a real story that we're following.
So we've got the theme of what's happened in the battle going to Suburbia, and really, story is PvZ itself, the Plants vs. Zombies universe and the world around us. So in the Zomboss factory that people are playing, you get to go in and see actually where all the cones and the screen doors and everything comes back. The giant mech that is the centerpiece of that map is actually from the end of PvZ 1 in the boss battle on the mobile game. And so we're telling the stories of PvZ and the PvZ universe, and we've got some real crazy stuff that's going to go in that world, even with that Zomboss mech itself. All the characters, all that time you've invested in Garden Warfare 1, we're going to allow you to bring those characters right through at the start of Garden Warfare 2. Everything you've unlocked on your platform of choice, all those characters will be there. In fact, there's going to be over 100 playable characters at the launch of Garden Warfare. We're really excited about that, and we're going to continue with free content updates. So that was a huge success with Garden Warfare 1, and it's a really great thing for our community.
What do you have to say to those guys that just feel like this isn't a shooter for them, that they can't wrap their minds around it because they'd rather be playing Call of Duty, or they'd rather be playing something that's a little more hardcore? What do you have to say to those guys?
Garden Warfare 2 has a real amount of depth. With over 100 playable characters and unique variants on each of those characters, each with their own progression, you're going to get to play those characters. There's a lot of depth to master the game, and only that, it's so much fun just to run around this map and get taken out by a chili beam, or have a sunflower, as I said, take you down, or have a chomper come up and jump from you underneath. There's experiences you won't get in any other shooter.
And also, it's not as easy as you think. It's actually quite difficult, and it requires some skill.
Absolutely. So, our players, we have some of the most skillful players in the game, and when you get to play there and get online, it's real challenging. They take the developers down all the time, and again, it's a huge community that's continuing to grow and get bigger.
Nice work, Marissa. The battle officially starts next spring. You're excited for that. Now listen, before we leave this behind, another Hollywood story for you. Actually, two more stories for you. One, I got a massage from a man, very Hollywood. And the other is I had a latte with Renee Zellweger, actually in the same coffee shop that she goes to every day.
But she wasn't even there.
She's had a little work done. She looks a little bit like Tommy Tallarico now.
Okay, thank you so much for that. We'll have more True Hollywood stories from Jones after this, and we're planning something strange.
Get that gun away from me, psycho! No!
This buried treasure kind of fills me with a little bit of sadness because it was the last big release from Radical Entertainment, which is was based right here in Vancouver, where EP is headquartered. It's Prototype 2, and in this one, they kind of flip things around. You play an army guy named Sergeant James Heller, and you are fighting Alex Mercer, who was the good guy, in quotations, of the first Prototype.
Red Crown, we've got Alex Mercer at RZ Grid 3-4.
The reason why you want to play this game, this is the team and a lot of the same people that brought us the Hulk Ultimate Destruction game, which was an incredible experience with lots of devastation. You could run around cities and do all kinds of rampaging stuff. Well, guess what? You can do that in Prototype as well, but you have even more powers than they gave to the Hulk, and obviously all of the new tech that was available on the Xbox 360 at the time. So there is a lot of of incredible stuff to destroy and cars and stuff flying all over the place. You are kind of a scumbag in this game as well. You kill a lot of innocent people, which was kind of hard to get behind on a storyline kind of basis. I kind of like my superheroes to be superheroes, but it certainly was fun to devastate the city and run around and do all of these cool running up buildings and taking out flying craft and diving and punching the ground and watching sort of the earthquakes and aftershocks of all the carnage that you can do kind of take full effect. Prototype 2, tons of fun. It's a great sandbox open world experience. There's lots of things to do, and it's definitely a buried treasure.
Great job, Vic. And of course, I agree. Prototype 2, still a classic. And good news, people. Sophia Tong has joined our reviews team. She's the global editor-in-chief for Games Radar. Here she is making her debut with Jose. It's an episodic game called Life is Strange.
Get that gun away from me, psycho! No!
Who's ready for a little more episodic content, huh?
I am.
I know you are. We have been playing Life is Strange. Now, this is a 5-part series, but there's only 3 parts out now. So we took a look at all 3 of the first parts. We have Chrysalis, Out of Time, and Chaos Theory. What did you think of Life is Strange?
I loved it, and it actually got better as each episode progressed, because at first it's a bit of a slow start. You're kind of getting used to your bearings. You play as this girl, Max, who is in her last year of high school. She's a photography student. And it's based.
Weren't we all?
Yeah, I know. It's so moody and emo. But you're in this town called Arcadia Bay. It's in the Pacific Northwest, or what we think is the Pacific Northwest. Beautiful game. But what I love about these games is that as soon as you finish an episode, you just want to talk to somebody about it. Because I knew after episode 2, episode 3, there are all these cliffhangers or these big moments where, did it happen to you? Or it's usually like one or the other answer. But how did you enjoy it?
Well, I mean, I have the exact same feeling. You know, it's one of those games where you do play it, because you play a lot of these games, especially like Telltale games, you know, with their Walking Dead series and The Wolf Among Us. It definitely has that feel with its own sort of artistic style, but it is one of those things where I was playing through the first episode, I'm like, all right, I've done this before, it feels very similar, but unlike those games where you have to make quick decisions, this game offers you the ability to make a decision and then rewind time, which is like the big pulling point of the game, and maybe change that decision, maybe go ahead with it. So it gets to that instance where you could have made the same decision as somebody, but you might have rewinded time and switched it up. So a lot of the times I was just like, what would be the nicest thing I could do? Max seems like a nice character. What could be the nicest thing? But a couple times I'm like, well, I'm gonna be a dick. I'm gonna just be a dick right now. I'm gonna take this money and run. And that's what I did a couple times. But I do like the fact that it does offer that, because it changes up the gameplay experience entirely.
I remember in Walking Dead, when you do something, it'll be like Clementine remembers that. Whereas here, you see the butterfly, and it says your actions will have consequences. And then you wonder, oh my gosh, should I rewind? Should I not? And it would be something as mundane as watering my plant. And it was like, should I have not watered it this time? And, you know, you'll find out what happens to the plant if you water it every week.
Do you keep watering it? I mean, that's just the thing. Maybe you shouldn't. Having the fact that we've only gotten through 3 episodes, you mentioned the cliffhangers at the end. There's some big cliffhangers, and especially at the end of episode 3, where I'm like, holy crap, I need episode 4 now.
I need to talk to somebody. I need to find out what happens. And I like the percentages, like The Walking Dead, where at the end you can see how many people made the same choices you did.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, there were some choices I felt pretty bad about, because I was in the 9%, like the 9% that did something not so great.
And one of the things that I also enjoy about the game is the fact that there were some choices that I didn't even know I could make or not.
Yeah.
And I just was like, wait, I missed that? I don't even know how that happened. That's something I missed. Now I have to go back and maybe play it again.
And then you wonder, like, how does that affect your story progression later in the game? Because you don't know at this point.
With all the little hidden pictures that you could take that unlock achievements or trophies.
I do like taking photos. I mean, you are a photography student, so that makes sense.
Makes sense. I got a nice photo of a squirrel chasing some fireflies.
Did you? Oh, I missed that one. I'd have to go back. See, replayability.
That's how strange life is. When you know, sometimes you're not. I found myself constantly going back into the menus and seeking out which photos I should be taking, and then I just spend the whole time looking throughout the level, like, where's this scene? Where's the squirrel playing with fireflies? There he is. And then he runs away. And then I rewind time. And there he is. And then I catch him. And then achievement unlocked.
Oh, it is one of those games that I would like to finish it and then go back and see what happens if I were to rewind. I would like to see a flowchart of what are the different scenarios that you could do based on these major decisions in the game.
Or things that you could just completely miss. Like, I know there's dozens of things that I was like, all right, I didn't even know I could do that, but apparently I did. and now I'm excited to see how the game ends. But 3 chapters in, I'm stoked. I can't wait for more. What are you going to give Life is Strange?
I'm going to give Life is Strange a 9.0.
I'm giving it an 8.5. I need more. It fulfills my fantasy of being an 18-year-old girl. Really?
Nice job, Sophia, and welcome to the team. And I still remember my first review. It was in the back of a 77 Chevy. Twitter question of the day is next after this.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to EP Daily. It is time now for the best part of today's show. It is a Twitter question of the day. This one comes from David Turner. Hey there, David. He's at Victor Made Me. I guess you made him.
I did make him, yep.
He has questions just for you, though. Is it fair for fans to get upset with spoilers when a story has been released before another format?
I think he's talking about Game of Thrones specifically there.
Oh, well, maybe.
Yeah, I think, if you're getting upset about spoilers, it's pretty fair game these days because of social media. Sorry, everybody that I made get on Twitter. But no, I think, the only thing that you can do is kind of put blinders on and not look at trailers too much. Show up a little late for movies when you're going to screenings and stuff.
Sure, yeah. When it comes to games, I don't know. I just feel like you can't really get mad about this stuff. The second I start reading a tweet about something that I don't want spoiled, I immediately look away.
Yeah.
And I just scroll down, in particular with Game of Thrones, because I didn't see the finale when everyone else did. I know it's not game specific, but...
We live in a spoiler-rich society, don't we?
It's true.
And we may spoil a couple of things when you're looking at some of our segments and some of our reviews, and we apologize about that.
We try not to.
We try not to, but you can get caught up at epn.tv.
We're going to have more for you in the next episode of EP Daily, including a brand new look at No Man's Sky.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Dungeon Hunter 5, which you can play for free on iOS and Android right now.
There's a race of robots, the Sentinels. Their whole job is to just keep the peace and actually protect the planets from people like me, right? From explorers like us, upsetting the balance.